What is going on, guys, and welcome to the Smackdown live review for the 11th of April's edition of Smackdown Live. And Superstar Shake-Up came to an end, and in an explosive way. I'm going to be analysing the trades that we saw and seeing who I personally think's got the better end of the deal, how well I think SmackDown's come out of this, how well I think Raw's come out of this, whether I think this does freshen up things and shake things up, or whether I think it was all a little bit of a letdown, of course, as well as going through and analysing everything that took place on SmackDown Live. So we're going to be doing that on this video today. So first we'll start with those who have transferred, been traded, whatever the hell you want to call it, and some big acquisitions for Friday Night SmackDown. And yeah, we're going to be going through each and every single one of them. And I was just thinking to myself while watching this show, there's certain people that came up on SmackDown, and we'll talk about them in a minute, that if they were going to Raw, I know they were on Raw, so this kind of doesn't make sense, but if they were going on Raw, wouldn't really be much. They haven't got, for example, right now they've got no momentum, their character's going nowhere, but because they come onto SmackDown, and it is the land of opportunity, and SmackDown has booked people a hell of a lot better than Raw, there's a kind of degree of confidence, and they become bigger, better acquisitions than what they would have been if they'd have been going to Raw, for example, even though they're already on Raw, if you see what I'm saying. I'll explain a little bit more when we get there. So let's go through exactly what the hell has happened, and let's just have a little look at who is coming to SmackDown Live. I think the big one, Charlotte Flair, is going to the women's division on SmackDown. She's left Raw to SmackDown, heavily rumoured. It's happened. Fantastic acquisition for the SmackDown Live women's division. It really makes it must-see. I would have thought she seems to be a face now. She seems to have turned to a face. Don't mind that at all. And to add to that, we've got Tamina. She's been absent for a long time. Of course, Jimmy Superfly Snuka passed away last year. So, was it last year or was it this year? Pretty sure it was the end of last year. I could be wrong there. But she's back. I think she was pregnant at one point. I may again be wrong. But she's back. And I think it's a decent acquisition. It'll be interesting to see you know, what sort of character she has on the show. But that's not a bad acquisition. And, of course, Lana coming very, very soon as well to the women's division. So it's, again, a very deep roster, but also a very good quality roster. So in place of Alexa Bliss and Mickie James, they have gone and got themselves Charlotte, Tamina, and Lana. And that ain't too bad at all. Let's just have a talk about the SmackDown Women's Division then in its entirety. We have, of course, got Becky Lynch, Naomi, Carmella, Natalya, Nikki Bella when she's back, Charlotte Flair, Tamina, and Lana. It's an 8 women's division, and it looks very, very strong. Big names coming out of that, of course. The big ones in the division. Charlotte, Becky, Naomi. Natalya can hold her own. Carmella needs a couple of wins and she'll propel herself right up there. Nikki Bella, of course, is a massive star. Tamina, be interested to see what her character is. Lana as well. Very, very strong division, to say the least. Compare it to Raw's division. Nia Jax, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Emma, Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, Dana Brooke, Summer Rae. 8 there. I think they're very, very solid. And I think both divisions have real good qualities about them. And the fact that we've broken up Charlotte and Sasha, I don't think is a bad thing. So I think SmackDown come out with a very big acquisition in Charlotte, the best women's wrestler. And I think their women's division looks better and Raw's women's division looks better. Fresher as well. And that is perfect. Having both divisions looking stronger, fresher and better is fantastic. Moving on to the tag team. We only saw one tag team come over from SmackDown, to Raw, and that was, shit, I've already forgotten, which is fucking ridiculous. Who the fuck was it? Oh, bollocks. Let me just try and think logically. Heath Slater and Rhino, that was it. Heath Slater and Rhino have gone to Raw to just give the Raw division a little bit more depth. But you have to say SmackDown has come off the better in regards to the tag team division, which it needed to because their tag team division didn't have the injection of the Hardy Boys or Revival post-WrestleMania. That's something we've got to remember. If you're looking at post-WrestleMania, you're saying Raw you know, if you're looking at what came after WrestleMania, so including the Raw after WrestleMania, the SmackDown after WrestleMania, you're looking at Raw's tag team division saying it's a lot more solid. But they did get the Shining Stars. Now, a lot of people are going to be a bit disappointed by that. If the Shining Stars take away their Pirates of the Caribbean or whatever the hell it is, Pirates of the Caribbean, if they take away that gimmick and they have that kind of gimmick that they seem to sort of produce on SmackDown, you know, with the shirts, kind of a bit like the Usos, I think they'll be a decent acquisition. I think if they're booked right, and this is what I was saying before, I have confidence with them. It's not the massive sort of switch on paper, but I believe SmackDown will do something good with them, and they'll be a very, very decent team in the SmackDown tag team division. And then the big ones, the New Day. I didn't really want them going to SmackDown, but it isn't a terrible thing. So New Day on SmackDown. Possible feuds with the Usos, possible feuds with American Alpha, the Shining Stars. I can't really think of any other fucking tag teams on SmackDown. I mean, still, you're still looking at it and saying the SmackDown tag team is missing a big team. It's not missing a big team, but it's missing one more big team. Maybe DIY can come up in the next couple months and really make that show 10 times goddamn bigger, but we will have to wait and see. I'm just going to go quickly look on the SmackDown roster and just going to have a look and see exactly what what tag teams are actually on. Of course, the Vaudevillains have been broken up because Simon Gotch was released from the company, if you didn't know, last week. So let's just have a quick look. We've got, of course, can I fucking get it up? Let me just try and get it up, because I really want to have a look at the division as a whole, and just to see, you know, Raw's better. Revival. Who else did I say? Revival, Hardy Boys. It looks a hell of a lot better. But that said, maybe if we can add, that's the thing. I think the SmackDown's tag team division is just one tag team away from being a real good roster. It's just one tag team away, and that could be DIY in the future, in the next couple months. They haven't come up post-WrestleMania, and I don't mind that because it does leave NXT then short on tag teams. But yeah, let's try and load this. I feel like I'm wasting your time. So I'll try and load this, get this all ready, and I'll be right back. Of course, SmackDown has got the Ascension, who I forgot actually did stay there. They've got Breezango, who of course stayed there. They've got the Shining Stars, the new acquisitions there. They've got the New Day. They've got the Usos. They've got American Alpha. And possibly a new tag team, maybe, that being Eric Rowan and Luke Harper in the future. Although I want Luke Harper to stay as a face in his own right, it could well happen. So, look, it's not the greatest, deepest division, but there is potential there to craft a very tidy division, to say the least. What about Raw's tag team division? Of course, you have got yourselves the Revival, you've got yourself the Golden Truth, you've got yourself the Hardys, you have the Club, Heath Slater and Rhino, and of course, that's actually, I believe, pretty much it. So, and Sheamus and Cesaro, of course. Look, I think Raw's division is better in the tag team sense, but I think SmackDown has stuff to work with. I think it's as simple as that. So, again, decent acquisitions on both ends. Let's have a look then at the superstars who transferred. Probably the biggest name, or we'll do the lesser ones, that being Sin Cara and Jinder Mahal. I don't like Jinder Mahal. I don't really know why. He's just kind of annoyed. I think it's his character more than anything. He's decent in the ring. I don't dislike the guy. It's just he's just this jobber, isn't he? But he might do an okay job. Sin Cara, it's interesting. What I would have liked to have seen is them keep Kalisto on this show and then bring Sin Cara, and we could have brought back the Lucha Dragons. If that hasn't been the case, what Sin Cara does, I don't know. He'll probably be somebody we won't see on television all that much, and will be used if and when they're short on superstars. The big one, though, now moving into the big 3 acquisitions for SmackDown, and I'm classing Rusev as a big acquisition for the simple fact SmackDown knows how to book people, and that's why it's huge. Same as Sami Zayn, huge acquisition because you believe that SmackDown will be able to book him a hell of a lot more successfully than what Monday Night Raw has been doing. So massive acquisitions there, and of course the US champion as well, Kevin Owens. Now, of course, that was with an asterisk because if Chris Jericho beats him at Payback, then he will come to SmackDown and Kevin Owens will stay on Raw. That won't happen because Chris Jericho is going on tour with his band. So it will be Kevin Owens, and rightfully so. The only thing I'm kind of a little bit jarred off about with this is the fact that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are on the same show. But I can deal with it because I don't think SmackDown will overexpose it. Now, I'm going to go through everything that's on Raw now, talking about the face-heel dynamics, running through every superstar on the roster and what I really think about them on the show. Apollo Crews, obviously a face on Raw, new from the Superstar Shake-Up. He'll do a decent job. I think he'll probably fade into the background, but he will probably re-emerge in a couple of months and do something kind of half important. Big Cass and Ezra Moore, another tag team I didn't just mention. They're on Raw. They'll get lost in the shuffle. I think it suggests that they'll be breaking up soon. Big Show, who I thought might be coming to SmackDown, stays on Raw. Bo Dallas, Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, Brock Lesnar, Cesaro, Chris Jericho, Kurt Hawkins, Curtis Axel, Darren Young, Dash Wilder, Dean Ambrose, Eliza Sampson, Enzo Amore, Finn Balor, Goldust, Heath Slater, Kalisto, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Mark Henry, Matt Hardy, The Miz, R-Truth, Rhino, Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, Scott Dawson, Seth Rollins, Sheamus, Sin Cara, Titus O'Neil. That is a strong division. Let's just talk about the big ones on here. We have got Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, Lesnar, will exclude Jericho, Ambrose, Balor, Miz, Reigns, Joe, Rollins. Holy shit. It's like, that is a stacked top card. That is a stacked upper card to mid card to upper card. Massive. And then you've got the thing of Cesaro and Sheamus if they break up. They're quite mad. I mean, the mid card looks very, very solid as well. Raw's division looks solid as goddamn hell. Let's move on to SmackDown and quickly talk about their one. Their division in its fullest. Aiden English, AJ Styles, Baron Corbin, Big E, Chad Gable, Dolph Ziggler, Epico, Eric Rowan, Fandango, James Ellsworth, Jason Jordan, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Jinder Mahal, John Cena, Kane, Kevin Owens, Kofi Kingston, Connor, Luke Harper, Mojo Rawley, Primo, Randy Orton, Rusev, Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, Ty Dillinger, Tyler Breeze, Victor, Xavier Woods, and Zack Ryder. Now, I always thought that SmackDown had a problem with faces post this, but since WrestleMania, they've added Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn, and that is massive in itself. And they've turned AJ Styles into a face, so they don't really have a problem with that now. So if we're talking about the top talent on SmackDown, Styles, Corbin, Nakamura, Cena, Owens, Luke Harper, Dolph Ziggler to a certain extent, Orton, Rusev, Sami Zayn, it's huge. The mid-card and upper-card kind of all gets mixed together on SmackDown, which is a good thing because it's a 2-hour show, so it doesn't need a massively strong mid-card. But the mid-card ain't bad either. Zack Ryder, when he comes back, will be a decent person in the mid-card. Rusev, depending on how he's used. Luke Harper. If the New Day do break up, you've got 3 big talents, especially Kofi Kingston and Big E, that are massive acquisitions into the mid-card. Ziggler is huge as well. I think it's a very, very solid division. So I think all in all, both rosters have come out looking a hell of a lot better. I really, really do. And I think it's awesome to see. And I think the fact that SmackDown got Shinsuke Nakamura as well is absolutely huge. But let's go through everything then that took place on Monday Night Raw. I think the Superstar Shake-Up, we're going to look back as it being a very, very successful turn of events. I think it was extremely positive and good, and I think both divisions looking a hell of a lot stronger, a hell of a lot fresher, and some really exciting new sort of stuff going to be coming. So let's start then with where basically Owens came out, we all knew he was going to be on SmackDown. Thank God he is, with the US title. Said that he is the face of America, the new face of America. Baron Corbin came out. A bit of verbal jarring there. Both of them, of course, heels. But what I like about Baron Corbin is he doesn't care whether you're a heel or a face. He's going to beat you up. It's as simple as that. Zayn then came out saying that he's part of SmackDown. Thank God for that. Styles then came out. And it was just like, this is friggin' awesome. This is madness. But these four are massive on the show, and they're fighting for the title that is the US title, the Midcard title, feeling goddamn important. And I was thinking this in 2 weeks when Randy Orton faces Bray Wyatt and wins that match, which I'm sure he will do. Who on earth is he going to be facing next? Because it could well be that somebody like a Baron Corbin is next in line to face Randy Orton for the heavyweight champion, for the WWE Championship, because AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, which we'll talk about in a minute, will be in a match themselves. Zayn, will they do face versus face? I don't know. So yeah, very, very interesting to say the least. And of course, these four, massive, could carry SmackDown on their own, but there's also the John Cenas and the Randy Ortons that weren't even spoken about in this segment. SmackDown's looking strong. Very, very enjoyable segment. Set up a triple threat match for #1 contendership for the United States Championship at the end of the show, and we'll talk a little bit about that as going forward. We then get Randy Orton versus Eric Rowan. Orton dominated much of the match. Then Bray Wyatt came on the screen. Obviously, he's on Raw, but he came on and said, "Look, give us a few hints about the House of Horror match," and said, "Orton, I'm beating you in the House of Horrors match." Then Rowan was outside the ring when the lights sort of went back on, smashed him with the steel steps, obviously caused the disqualification. Randy Orton getting the win by disqualification. Eric Rowan looking decent in defeat. What will they do with Eric Rowan? I know a lot of people are concerned when this whole Randy Orton Bray Wyatt thing ends in a couple of weeks' time, where this leaves Eric Rowan. He's got two options. He can either form a tag team with Luke Harper, or he can feud with Luke Harper. That can go on a couple of months, and then who knows with Eric Rowan what's going to happen after that. But that's certainly, I think, his next couple of months set in stone. So yeah, Orton, Wyatt, it's going to be interesting how they continue this feud and move on sort of in the next couple of shows on Raw and SmackDown, or just Raw and SmackDown then the pay-per-view, because of course both are on different shows. But the fact that Wyatt can kind of come on the big screen kind of means he could be on both shows a hell of a lot easier than Randy Orton, so it doesn't really make much difference. We then saw the Usos take on American Alpha for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, and this was a match that should have probably taken place at WrestleMania. Didn't. The Usos retained. High energy, fast, fun bout, really, really good match. The Usos getting the victory. Where does this leave American Alpha? We'll have to wait and see. I expect a feud with the Shining Stars, especially after they came out and they kind of got attacked by them after. So we expect a Shining Stars versus American Alpha feud, and I think the Usos will be... the New Day will come after the Usos ASAP. Now... American Alpha and the Usos feud has kind of been a bit underwhelming because the company hasn't really given it the time. That said, it means it can be revisited in 3-4 months' time and feel fresh and feel hot. So I'm not too disappointed because I think in the long term it won't really matter. We then saw Jinder Mahal versus Mojo Rawley. This was filler. This I don't really care about. Gronk, or whatever the hell his stupid goddamn name is, was ringside. Mojo Rawley got the win. He can't wrestle. Don't like Jinder Mahal. Don't care about that at all. We then had Shane McMahon come out and talk about the women's division. Say thank you to everybody that was on SmackDown's now moved to Raw, not just in the women's division, but on the roster altogether. And how was he going to replace Mickie James and Alexa Bliss? Tamina and Charlotte. Played a nice little thing there where he announced Tamina when everyone thought he was going to announce Charlotte, because everything he said was kind of still applicable to Tamina, which was funny. And then Charlotte came out. This was awesome for the simple fact that you just saw the SmackDown's women's division feel so much more fresh. New faces, as well as Charlotte there as well. Holy shit, Charlotte Naomi could be awesome. Charlotte Natalya, I never thought really got what it deserved pre-brand split. You've even got the Charlotte Nikki Bellas, the Naomi Tamina. That they've got history there from back in Team Bad. There's some decent goddamn feuds that can come from this, and of course Charlotte Becky Lynch as well. So the SmackDown's women's division feeling fresh, feeling new. Add Lana into the mix as well. Will be certainly interesting to see where the SmackDown women's division goes. Aiden English came out, decided to start singing. I was like, for fuck's sake, that doesn't do it for me. It might for some people, but it really doesn't for me. It's a shame for Aiden English. I think he needs to find himself a tag team partner. Because as a single star, it's clear he is not going to do anything. But out came number 10, Ty Dillinger. He's on fire at the moment, and he is somebody I can see. The only thing I'm worried about Ty Dillinger is what he will do. Will they feel like he's good enough in the next couple of months once Stars and Owens have finished their program to go after the US title, or will they not? It'll be interesting to see how they use him. But it's nice for him to get a couple of wins on SmackDown. Hopefully that continues. And maybe kind of a lower feud with perhaps... let me have a look at the SmackDown roster. Perhaps sort of a feud with I don't really want to say Jinder Mahal because I don't like him. But a feud with... well, maybe not Rusev because he'll get beat. I don't know. I'm struggling here a little bit to find who the hell to put him in a little feud with. I suppose you could put him in a feud with Mahal and have him win the feud comfortably. Something like that. I don't mind. But I think Ty Dillinger may get lost in the shuffle, which seems annoying, but we'll have to wait and see. I won't moan too much because, of course, it hasn't happened. We then saw the best segment of the night. Well, segment-wise. That being Dolph Ziggler coming out saying he's on SmackDown. I'm happy with that because I thought he was going to go to Raw, but he's really not a Raw superstar. He's a SmackDown superstar. And out comes Shinsuke Nakamura. His entrance is awesome. The crowd were singing his entrance. Loved that. Used to happen on NXT. It's wonderful. Wonderful sight. And then they had a little bit of a stare down. Nakamura said, I am Shinsuke Nakamura. After Ziggler said, I don't know who you are. Little bit of a stare down. Ziggler turned. Looking like he's walking away. Bang, super kick. Caught by Nakamura. Nakamura pushes him away. Says, come on, bring it on, Dolph. And Dolph, as the heel that he is, goes outside the ring. This is awesome. Ziggler Nakamura is, I can't bloody wait. The match has money written all over it. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I can't fucking wait. Heel Ziggler versus face Nakamura. This is going to be awesome. We know Nakamura will win, but Christ alive, they have got the potential to put on a Match of the Year candidate. Some people are disappointed it's not AJ Styles, it's not The Miz. Don't give AJ Styles Nakamura out yet. You got to save that for a SummerSlam or for a WrestleMania. And The Miz, I was okay with Nakamura Miz, but Ziggler Nakamura is going to produce a better match than Miz Nakamura, in my opinion. As much as I love Miz, the feud would have been better, but I still think this could be decent. Wow, loved it. Bleacher Report is kind of shitting on it, but, Bleacher Report shits on everything. So, that was awesome. And then the main event, AJ Styles was Baron Corbin versus Sami Zayn for the number one contendership for the US title. What a match this was. Back and forth. Everybody got some great offense in. Zayn eating the pinfall, but I wouldn't look at it like that. It didn't really matter who got the pinfall in this match. I feel like this is where a lot of us overanalyze things. And he got the pinfall, so no. I think this was an awesome match. Everybody gave everyone. It could have been anyone getting the pin. It wouldn't have hurt anybody. If we overanalyze it, then of course it hurts them. But let's not overanalyze it because I don't think the casual fan will overanalyze it. Zayn looked really, really good in this. He's already in the main event on the first show of SmackDown. That is something very, very nice to see. And Styles getting a victory. Styles, Kevin Owens. Oh my God, it's a dream. It is a dream feud for me. I can't wait. Yeah, Bleacher Report, I agree. Some will be disappointed that Styles has kind of been demoted. But this is the problem I had with Daniel Bryan fans. And I am a massive AJ Styles fan. But I understand that he is not going to be able to be in the main event all the goddamn time. That they've got to be able to do other things. And people never used to accept that with Daniel Bryan. It was the main event or it's nothing. You can't have someone in the main event all the time. It gets stale, it gets boring. So the fact that it's Styles Owens, I don't understand. Anybody in their right mind can complain about that. This is as big as anything. And with Randy Orton, the kind of chap he is, well, it depends who he faces, I suppose. But this will almost be the big feud on SmackDown. And the Randy Orton thing will kind of be going on in the background. Will still be the biggest match. Will still main event the SmackDown pay-per-views. But the thing we'll see the most of on the show, the most intensity, will no doubt be this. It's going to be awesome. And I can't wait, to say the least. Owens as the heel of the company, the heel of the show.
versus the face of the show, AJ Styles. Some will say it's a shame this is not for the WWE title, but just think if it was, and in a couple of months, in 6 months' time, maybe it will be. So yeah, an awesome show, much better than Raw, I think, again though, because of just how it flowed. That said, I'm not judging Raw too much, because at the end of the day, it was a superstar shake-up. It was a great show, and a great sort of couple of shows, and I'm really, really happy with what we've seen. SmackDown's roster looking fresh, Raw's looking fresh as well. Some awesome feuds to be coming out on both Raw and SmackDown. Raw, Rollins, Joe, Lesnar, Strowman. Holy fucking shit. Jericho Owens at the moment, still kind of going on. Wyatt Balor, holy cow. SmackDown, it's competing as well. Owens, Styles, Ty Dillinger, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler, and even the possibility of Usos versus New Day. This is awesome. I cannot wait. Thank you for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please leave a like, and until next time. Oh, I was meant to say thanks for watching it, and then I'll see you next time. Fucked it up. Great shows. Smackdown a better show. The Superstar shake-up is completed. It's now a case of whether they can implement the new stars in successfully. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.